I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Do it, buddy. Do it. Kill it. 2:21. Do it. It's the most important half minute in podcasting, the intro. Don't fuck it up.
2 Al's, 1 pod. That's right. Used to be the Talking Dicks Comedy Podcast, but we had to change the name for sensitive people. We're back. I'm in my office. I'm on land. I'm in my dwelling. That's Al Ducharme, by the way, me. And that's Al Romas. It looks like he's still in his cabin. I forget the ship that he's on. But tell us where you are, Al. What's going on?
Hey, nice to see you at home. It's been a while since you were in your dwelling. I'm on the Odyssey of the Seas. It's 2 weeks. The last day today. I have one show tonight and home tomorrow. So back on land tomorrow. We'll both be home, and then you head out. I don't know when. When do you head out again? Are you heading out again? What's your schedule?
You can tell I'm tired. I leave tomorrow night with my lovely bride, Bernadette Pauly. We're going to fly to Aruba. We're going to be performing at Aruba Rays Comedy Club for 2 weeks. And in between, I will be officiating Bernadette's niece's wedding. Shannon and Dave are getting married on the beach.
Nice.
Yes. So
Nude?
doing...
Will this be a nude wedding? Is that one of those
It'll be
things?
a nude wedding.
Oh, geez. That's troubling.
But I get to wear a tie because I'm the officiating, so I won't be completely nude.
A long tie. I've seen that look. You've sported it before. You wear that extra long tie, and it's funny.
It's big, long, fat tie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
A lot of fun.
That's good. You don't want the officiant nude. I think that's illegal if the officiant is naked. You got to have something on to make this ceremony, because let's be honest, they're not going to last anyway. It's going to fucking end in divorce.
It's got a 50% of ending in less than 5 years.
That's sad, isn't it? And you guys, look at you and Bernie.
She's staring at me. It's a comedy podcast. Are you going to be sensitive too? We'll change the name to Honesty Podcast.
Oh, we're here being honest.
No, I was being honest. I was being honest.
No, you did more than 5 years. That's I mean, look, how long have you been married?
We beat the odds. Paulie and I beat the odds. We're 18 years. So
18's pretty. I mean, nowadays that's like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where people don't make it. So for you guys to do that is it's pretty good, man. Tremendous. You know?
Yeah, I figured another year and a half. Year and a half, make it an even 20. And
like on a show, when you go, who's married? And someone goes 50 years, and everybody applauds. Well, we don't know if they're happy. No. They're just, why are we applauding? They may just be too lazy to.
I think we've been married this long because we're both comics, and we've spent half of the time away from one another.
Right.
So factor that in.
So really 9 years. You've been married about 9 years. Yeah, about 9 years.
Married, yeah. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how they do it. How do those people on board the ships? They're like 42 years. Do we have anybody who has more than 42? 52 years. I mean, just
right. Well,
crazy.
I think a lot of them are lazy. Like I said, they're not happy. A lot of them are lazy. They just didn't get out of it, and they were like.
And I think that those other people, once they get to a certain point, it's just like, I can't. It's not going to get any better.
Right. Well, grass isn't greener generally. I mean, that's been proven. But
what about these guys that have been married? I met a guy in Mazatlan. He's from the States, Colorado. He's retired down there. Him and his wife went down there and retired. But she died about 4 years ago. But I just married this other woman. It's just like, dude, you crossed the finish line. You had it made.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'm getting the looks again. I'm getting the looks again.
People I was out. I got in. I mean, people, but getting out isn't great when you're on your own. It looks great, and on paper, it's great. No. And there are great months. There are months that are pretty good, but it does get, no matter what your situation, but it does get old to come home and there's no one there. I mean, you just have hey, there they are. Look at them.
Hi.
That's the picture right there. That's the poster for marriage right there.
Marriage is like an unpaid internship. It's a lot of work, and you're constantly questioning whether or not it's all worth it.
All right. I like that. That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good. Did she just pop in with that, or was that
She did. I
something
think she's going to
ruminating?
be joining us. I think we're doing 2 of these podcasts from Aruba. So Bernadette will probably be in tow, at least for one of them.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's hasn't been a guest I remember the last time she was a guest. It was during COVID, during the whole before I went back to work for COVID. So it's been 2 years or so. Long time. Did you give the episode number today? Volume number? Did you
This is
tell us what it
volume
was?
221, and we're in our 3rd season. So season 3, volume 221, or episode.
Remember
But we call them volumes.
Is anyone old enough to remember the TV show Room 221?
222.
Oh, was it 222? Oh, it was 222. All right.
Was it?
I was thinking
What
it
was the show
221.
from the 60s that we watched in syndication in the 70s and early 80s?
222?
Room 222.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it wrong. I had 221. Okay. They had the cool black teacher. He was all right, with the kids. Remember his name?
And then
10
Mod
10
Squad
points.
was in syndication as well. You got to remember, I think we had 4 networks because I think Fox was new.
This is before Fox, and this is 3 network days.
That's what. Well, I'm saying when we were watching it in syndication, there were 4.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
so whatever the latest station, they picked up a lot of these syndicated shows to draw in viewers. So I remember coming home from school and watching the Mod Squad and Room 222 and a few others.
Well, that
and
fits right in.
Yeah.
No, I just want to
Okay.
say we have a question today, and that fits right in. So if you want to do the question now or wait, but you're right in the wheelhouse of today's.
Let's do it now.
Question.
It's nice and fresh. Let's do it,
All
baby.
right. Let's hit it. Questions. You send us questions. I put a thing on Instagram, on Facebook, and then you send us a question, and we answer it generally on the next podcast. This was, gentlemen, your favorite TV show when you were a kid. So I'm thinking not rerun syndication.
Mhm.
What did you enjoy as a little 9-year-old Alfred? He's in Rhode Island. He went to Newport Creamery. He's got a comb with some jimmies,
Mhm.
some racial jimmies.
Which we didn't realize was a racial slur.
I think they knew.
No, we didn't know as kids.
Oh.
We thought Jimmy's meant little sweet treats.
Yeah.
Some
They meant
people call
little
them ants.
Ants.
I don't know.
Little sweet,
sweet
black boys.
We thought there was printed on it Jimmy, so we thought it was like some, like Wendy's burgers.
Yeah.
We thought it was some sort of like mascot person. I don't
Rhode
know.
Island was horribly racist.
Yeah.
What were you watching, Al? Around 10. Let's go, kid. I don't know, 11, 12-year-old kid.
Well, mine falls under the category of syndication, and it was also running in prime time at the time. It was one of those things where it ran into prime time for the first 3 seasons, and then it went into syndication while it was
Rich
still...
Man, Poor Man.
I did see that miniseries.
Yeah.
That's when I became a Sam Elliott fan. He's awesome. Yeah. Right now,
best career in the world. He's got like the coolest.
He's 81, and he just finished a series called 1883.
It would just be cool to be Sam Elliott. That's kind of a cool.
He's got
thing.
that perfect voice as well.
Yep.
Well, I reckon you boys ought to saddle up before those Indians come down and scalp you and your kids.
Yeah, he's awesome. So what show are we talking about here?
Rockford Files.
Rockford Files. Sam Elliott was in Rockford Files?
No, you said what? You said series, and Rich Man Poor Man was a mini series. It was only like 8 episodes.
I was kidding with that.
Oh,
that was just
okay.
a big. I just remember
James Garner.
That was a big
James
thing.
Garner. I was a big James Garner Rockford Files guy, and it was
cool.
great because I could watch it in the afternoon because I think it came on at like 8:30 or 9, and that just wasn't ideal.
No, he was cool though for those days. I remember everyone thought James Garner was a cool guy. or the 70s or whatever he was,
I
whatever.
love how
made
he
the
ended
cool
up
in the 70s.
many times with the short end of the stick. He would take a beating, get
I know.
beat up, but he was like sassy and, he had some humor. And there was certainly some characters that were on there. He had his father, Rocky. He had Angel. And he had
Did he live in a trailer?
He lived in a trailer on the beach. I think it was Santa Monica. It was like right there on the ocean, a parking lot.
Now there's mansions there, but
yeah, that doesn't exist anymore. No, it's like, he lived right there on the beach in this, whatever. I don't even know if it was a windstream, but it was like a trailer.
No, it was small little. Right.
No, it was like a 30 footer, 28, 30 foot trailer. Right?
All right.
Had a
I guess.
kitchen.
I don't remember it that well. But
I loved it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he lived in a fucking trailer on the beach. And it's like he bought this $15,000 trailer and then he rented the spot in the parking lot.
That's cool.
For $80 a month, right on the water.
That was cool. And then when we were thinking, I think we discussed this on another pod. The place I wanted to live as a kid was Bob Newhart's apartment in Chicago.
Wow.
With the drop down living room. And
Bob.
That was.
Hi, Howard.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
Got Howard the
Emily.
neighbor popping by. You make some drinks. Emily's got a cocktail ready for you when you walk in. She's looking great and get that voice happening. And you just take a step down into the living room and holy shit, that was the way to live, man. High up in the sky in Chicago. I mean,
gorgeous.
That was beautiful.
Howard, would you like to join us for dinner? Oh, no, I just had a frozen dinner. Oh, yeah, but it takes so long to cook them. Cook them? Cook them. He eats his frozen dinners, frozen. I think we mentioned this on another pod.
I know, but it's hilarious. He was the same. He's Roger Healy, who they made him into a weather.
Hi, Tony.
Whatever. Yeah, he's
Hi,
the same
Jeannie.
guy.
Major Healy.
Yes.
You and Major Nelson.
It's the same guy. They just took him out of his uniform. And, he's an astronaut. Make him a pilot. There you go. That's
Air Force. Air Force astronaut. Yeah, because they were astronauts.
Oh, yeah. And then he was just a pilot for
Bob Newhart. He was a commercial pilot. Yeah.
Yeah.
A dumb pilot.
She'd have that portable bar, and
everyone it was in the awesome 70s sunken living room. It was
that portable bar was a big deal in the 70s. People liked a bar on wheels. Just wheel it in with your drinks, and they drank cool drink. It wasn't like today when you go to somebody's house and they're like, "What are you gonna have?" And something in a can, some seltzer shit. No, these people, it was like whiskey and gin. You know what I mean? That's what they were making. Martinis or a glass of whiskey. But that's seltzer in a can. I don't care for that, man. When you go to someone's home.
We've been experimenting, and most of the ones that we've had, the pre-made drinks, are just garbage.
They stink.
But one time we paid a little extra for one, and it was actually very good. Also, Bernadette did a promo, and they sent her cases of this stuff. I think it was called After Five or something like that. It was a variation of mixed drinks, and they were free, so they were okay, but I would never buy them.
Right.
The ones in the glass bottle, we found a place in Atlantic City when we were working the Borgata, and we went down. They had a little convenience store. It was like $14 a pop, and we bought a couple of different ones. We bought like a $9 one, a $7 one, the 14, and the 14 was like having a real drink. But if I'm going to pay $14, I'll just go to the bar and get one made in front of me.
That's right. That's correct. I don't care for it. Remember when we were young? It was Zima. That was a big processed drink in a bottle that people
just could not.
Zima.
That was the big craze. I had a sip. Zima. I never had one. I never give me a Zima. First of all, because of our generation, and we use the gay terms, pussy, it doesn't really mean gay. It just means that you're less, you're half woman.
Pussy.
You're half a woman.
Yeah. Which half?
And we only used them with our friends. So it fell into the locker room talk. We weren't just, but I was called a faggot out loud by a total stranger From
was drunk.
you were drunk from just walking down the street.
I don't mean.
Hey,
I mean, it was just.
faggot! We just
Wow.
don't turn. I'm like, oh my god, that's not funny. That's like mean. That's like he's gonna kill us.
Well, that was
because-
yesterday. I got to stop doing that to you. I swear to God, I can't. We're in 2023.
Yeah, but
It has
I'm
to
okay
end.
with it because you're a friend. So
All right. Oh, thank you.
I laugh when you do it, but when a
I
total stranger
laugh.
does it, then that's what a gay person feels like when they're threatened by some homophobic person that's capable of taking a life because of your makeup or preferences.
I hear you. Hey, it's Sunday. Well, today's Monday on the podcast. If you're listening today, it's Monday. Yesterday was the Super Bowl. How about that? It's already been played. It was a great game. We loved it.
I can't believe that Patrick Mahomes was carted out on a stretcher. All right,
I can't believe he came back and threw 5 downs in the fourth quarter with less than 3 minutes. That was insane.
true.
That doesn't happen. You're never going to see that again. Where did you watch the game, Alfred? Are you going to be doing anything for the Super Bowl?
Yes, we're going to be at a sports bar in Aruba. There's no shows in the evening. So it's Aruba time. I think the game starts at 7:30 Aruba time because I think it's an hour ahead of East Coast.
I think you're right. I was just there last week.
Right. So because kickoff is 6:30, right?
Yes, sir.
So pregame is at 6 East Coast time. So yeah, we'll probably get there. Again, they reserved a table for us. And I think it's going to be like 8 to 10 of us, mostly comics. I think Mike Vecchione. I think Don Gavin.
Oh,
myself.
Christ.
I think Gina Brillion. What's her name? Brillion. Pete.
No,
maybe it's Pete Lee. Bernie.
Pete Lee.
It's Pete. Is it Pete Lee that's going to be with us in Aruba?
Yeah. Is Pele? Maybe Pele.
Pele just passed away.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he was going to be. I know he was booked there soon. I wonder who got his dates.
Wow. Let me explain the reference there. Okay.
Ouch.
There's a comedic entertainment website that we use for pretty much cruise ships, and people will chime in. So there's some non-comedian types. And someone passed away. One of our comedian friends passed away. I think it's like a third or fourth that we know. While sailing. And I think it was it a heart attack, stroke?
Stroke.
Wow.
In St. Kitts.
Ooh.
Not where you want to stroke out.
Well, the thing about a stroke is if you get immediate attention, you got a good chance of survival. But if you don't, did he have a stroke at night? Wasn't feeling well. And then, I'll just go lay down. Was it one of those things? Or did he wake up? Was he walking around? Do you know any deets?
I don't know any deets. I only met the guy once. I don't really know him at all, so I can't. And I don't know. I just woke up to seeing a thing saying that he passed in St. Kitts of a stroke, and everybody was very shocked, and it was very sad. So, but when you're dealing with comedians, usually the thing is to try to jump. You want to get the jump on the dark, joke, the funny. We joke about shit like that all the time. I mean, Gilbert Gottfried was great at that. Anyone died, go to Twitter. Within 5 minutes, he had a joke about them.
I think this was within the first 48. And someone posted something about, hey, did you hear about so-and-so passing?
Well, they asked what ship
what ship were they on? So Al comes in with, which is a classic comic line, by the way. Why? You want to get his dates. In other words, they have to fill all those dates. So if we had 20 dates on the books, comedians are notorious for being vampires, vultures.
Where was he working?
Coming in. Where is he working? Can I get those dates? Fill in my calendar.
And all I did was write it on Facebook. I'll guarantee you some son of a bitch contacted different agencies asking about his dates and can you get them? Guaranteed.
Sure.
All I did was write
shame.
Trying to be funny. I wasn't looking for the poor man's work, but
And some people will be like, it's so sad to hear about so-and-so. Well, if you need anybody to fill in the dates, let me know, because here's my avails. It's just
my avails.
Scummy. So you made a joke about it. Who was the person who posted it? It was a comedian?
It was a comedian.
We don't have to mention names.
I don't remember who, but a comedian on Chips. Yeah, just posted. Does anyone know what Chips?
The only error you made 2 errors.
Ooh.
First of all, I think it's hysterical personally as a comedian. But 2, you made 2 errors. 1, you don't know the comic, and that's a gray area.
True.
Okay. 2, it was a community thing where there's also magicians, jugglers, singers.
Yeah.
Other
I
entertainers.
Forgot that part. I thought it was
you got. It's not really. There's another one that we used to have called. What was it? The Monkeys. What was
Road Monkeys?
Road Monkeys.
That was Road. They would have got.
You could say whatever you want, but then we had a mole.
Yeah,
and someone ratted us out because that was the one you'd go on and you'd mention names and you just shit on people because of their behavior, or you felt you were venting. But you felt like you were revenging, and usually if a name was mentioned on the chat room, whatever you want to call it, page, everybody was in agreement. That person is a piece of shit, and they all start giving examples of their experiences with them. So it wasn't like a nice person was getting shit on. No, but you did step over the boundary a little bit there. And since then it was taken down. The original poster took it down. So you're fine.
Yeah, there were a couple of. So I posted. I go, why? Do you want his dates? And then right away somebody wrote oof, OOOF, just oof, like out. Then somebody else wrote wow, exclamation point. And then Paul Bolin, a guy who I like and I'm friends with. I don't know what he meant, but I guess he didn't mean anything. But the thing I'm saying, it was like from Anchorman. It was like that escalated quickly. It's like there were 2 comments. Nothing escalated. Like don't.
Let's be honest now.
Yeah.
You got a couple of private messages.
I did. Laughing emojis.
Oh, you got some of those, but didn't you get also?
I got another one saying, "Dude, hysterical. I can't post anything on there."
Yeah,
well, the guy was saying, "I can't back you on this." Like you laughed at it, but you didn't fucking give me a thumbs up.
I was tempted. Good thing I wasn't drinking. I haven't been drinking lately, but because I was going to go, what the hell is wrong with you? His body isn't even cold yet. I was going to go off on that.
That would have been funny.
But I would have been. Well, I would have been like doing all the insensitive things, responding to you. But what I would be saying would be
that would be good though, because those people are not comics. They're magicians. They're singers. They're ventrilo, whatever the fuck, they're circus folk, and they don't get it. And that was my mistake. I thought, these are comedians, they'll all laugh. I thought I'd be getting like a bunch of thumbs up and a laughing face, and then
you're the type of person that would have sex with a corpse in a morgue. I was going to go that route.
Right. You should have. Yeah, that would have been fun.
But I would have done like a monologue.
We could have milked it. That would have been a good time. Hey, did we answer? I'm looking at my thing. Did we answer the question? Favorite TV show? You were going Rockford Files.
I went with Rockford Files because you said not syndication, but I said it was both. I don't know
as a kid. I don't know mine. I mean, mine. I'm going to go syndication because I just remember as a kid. What's a kid though? No, actually, as a kid, probably $6 Million Man. That probably was my favorite show. $6 Million Man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Come on, Colonel Steve Austin. We can rebuild them. We have the technology. We'll make them faster. Better,
Oscar, I need a robot
stronger.
woman I can bang.
Get you the bionic woman.
Steve, Jamie. And then the bionic woman was Lindsay Wagner.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the ratings dipped a bit, and they went, we better get a broad in here, make her bionic too. And I forget the setup. She was a tennis pro.
Right.
Was she in a car accident or something?
She was in a wreck, I believe. Didn't she?
They made her bionic from a car.
He was in an experimental space shuttle, or something, whatever it was. It was a spacecraft.
It was like Evel Knievel. It barely got up and just crashed down. And then
that accident. Did you see that accident? That thing, it rolled like 800 times.
It looked like evil. It looked like his Snake River or one of those deals.
Yeah.
You just get hurts in the crash.
He lost his leg, his arm, and his eye.
Yeah. which is good because that's all the bionics we had at that time. We couldn't do anything else, so we
It was
we
$6
got 'em
million
covered.
bucks
Not bad. Not
in
a bad price tag for
in the early 70s. So what would that be today? Would that be like the $40 million man
dollars with a B. With a B.
with a big?
Yeah, remember that show would open with her playing tennis. Just these random tennis.
Yeah.
She's a pro.
Yeah.
And then she gets in a car accident or something. And
I never bought
her
that she was a
boyfriend's
tennis
bionic.
pro. I never bought that.
the whole thing. I mean, we got the bionic man. I get, but
They
really, his
pitched it.
girlfriend is also.
They
gonna be
pitched it. They
bionic?
hired the writers. The writers were like, well, "This will be fucking easy."
Yeah, this is
Because it's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, was she hot? I always like, Lindsay Wagner.
Ah,
I don't
even
think
looking back, I'm like, barely hot. Like she had a vagina.
so. Yeah, I don't think she was hot. Well, it was bionic by a Jenna though, so that's pretty good. If you think of it that way.
She had the two
It's not
legs
bad.
as well. They both had
Yeah, I don't know.
both legs.
I don't remember. That was almost like
She had the
jumping
hearing.
shark.
She had the hearing. She had the bionic ear.
You know what I mean? It was jumping the shark a bit when she came aboard. The
She could
show was
listen in.
like,
So she'd be listening in. Some guys
Right.
going, "That woman's a cunt." I heard that.
right. Yeah, I don't know. What was the question before you said I don't, but anyway, yeah, I didn't really like her that much on the, and then her own show. She was with him, she was pretty good, but then on her own, who cares?
And then
we
she
get it.
became the
And
spokesperson for Select Comfort, the electronic inflatable, independently controlled bed. So him and her, and we went and looked at them in a showroom, Bernadette and I. And she goes, "This is a gimmick." I go, "Well, lay down." And she wouldn't even lay in. She goes, "It's a gimmick. I want to get out of here. They want $1,200 for this thing." I go, "It's amazing. It's like a hospital bed. It's really comfortable." And she goes, "It's a gimmick." And then we stayed in a hotel in Canada where the whole place was a Select Comfort hotel, blah, 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 blah. And we slept in it for 3 nights. And she goes, "Oh my God, we made a mistake. This is the most comfortable bed I've ever had."
who's we, sucker?
Who's we, sucker?
Really? To answer the question, and then my syndicated, you had a syndicated, my syndicated as a kid, favorite show, usually in the afternoon, I think it was shown, but like fucking changed my world. Get Smart. Get Smart.
Yeah.
So funny. Couldn't believe how funny it was.
I loved him going through all those doors to get to the secret agent place.
Dun,
Well, during the
dun,
beginning credits,
dun,
and then he gets in the elevator booth, crosses his arms, and then the floor drops
floor
out. But you
opens.
don't see it. You just see him, Don Knotts. Is it Don Knotts? Yeah.
No.
Don Adams. Sorry, Don Adams.
Thank you.
Drop through, and then he was
Hilarious.
in what was it called? Headquarters. What was the place
Well,
called?
he was. Let's see. They were against chaos. Was the
Right.
enemy. They were control. Control.
Control. It was Control. And Chief, I don't remember his last name. 99 was his sidekick, agent.
Yes.
Barbara
Hot or
Barbara
not?
Feldman. I
That could
thought
be a
Barbara
good-
I thought she
hot
had a little
or
bit more
not?
hotness going for her. She was a takeoff of Mrs. Peel from the Avengers. And they apparently they had 2 or 3 Mrs. Peels, but whichever one, miniskirt with the boots, hot.
Boom, 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 boom.
That was the British show. Yeah.
These boots are made.
Nancy
Yeah, I
Sinatra.
thought she was. Yes, she was pretty attractive. Old 99. I think she's alive. I think she actually is like 99 now. I saw something recently. She's like 99. She's old.
And she's not going to make it to
Yeah.
100. She's
Well, I saw her on who was the actress from Superman on Twitter. Ooh,
oh,
but she's very ill. She's very ill.
she's
got a lot
had
of-
mental illnesses for decades.
Ooh, wow, it's
What
bad.
was her? What's her name?
I can't think of her offhand because I'm thinking of Barbara Feldon from Get Smart. But anyway, that show is so hip and funny. And
Very
just,
funny.
It's
Was Mel
unbelievable.
Brooks
And Mel
writing?
Brooks.
Mel
yeah,
Brooks writing.
Yeah. And Buck Henry and
Buck Henry, yeah.
and then they have Larrabee, the robot. I mean, how great is Larrabee and all those characters? It's just
Hey,
they're
did
so
Buck
great.
Henry
And the Cone of
write
Silence?
Catch-22?
He adapted it.
The screenplay, yeah, he did the screenplay from the book. Okay,
But he wrote. Buck Henry wrote the. Fuck! What's going on?
Films.
Yeah,
he did a lot of adaptations. Like, did he do The World According to Garp, or am I making that up?
I think you're making that up. But he did the one, the big Dustin Hoffman with Simon and Garfunkel soundtrack.
The Graduate.
The Graduate. Thank you.
Mike
He wrote The
Nichols
Graduate.
directed, right?
Right. He wrote The Graduate. Yeah, I mean,
So,
there you
fuck,
go. That's a
considered
resume
one
right
of the
there.
top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah, I might agree with that. And one of those movies too, where the cultures change. Like you see it. You
Yes.
see the parents.
Mhm.
They're in the 50s or the 40s. They have that mindset, and then he's just laying in the pool.
He's
Like, when are you going to work? You gotta get
he doesn't know what he's gonna do.
And
He's
he's like,
graduated
"Fuck, I
from
want a job."
college. He's having a
I want a
fling
job.
with Mrs. Robinson,
Right.
who is
But he's in
Anne
love
Bancroft,
with the
who's
boss's
his
daughter.
who's his age, but he looks younger and she looks older.
Yeah.
I think they were similar in age. And it's Mel Brooks'
She's a little
wife.
older.
Yeah, she's a
a
few years older.
little bit older.
Well, I'm
but,
saying Dustin
and
Hoffman
then
was playing a 22-year-old and he was actually 32. And she was
Right.
playing a 40-year-old and she was probably 37, 38.
Yeah. But in those days, you lived to 60, 65. So 40 was up there,
Yeah.
They didn't live long. They weren't old people.
No.
And then the ending is so great when they get married and he's on the bus and they just look at each other like what the fuck are we gonna do?
What do we just? It was all.
What are we doing?
They were like, "Yay, we're
stole her
doing
from the
this. I don't want to
Yeah.
give away too much, but yay, we're doing this." And then they're like,
"It's 100 years old. If you haven't
Yeah.
seen it, I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!"
"But she's at
came
the
out of the-
altar with the rich guy's arranged marriage, but she's in love with him."
Mm-hmm.
And who was that?
And he steals her.
Catherine. What was her name? She was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah, Catherine.
He was like the big
she was-
thing, and then she's like, "I'm fucking out of here. I don't like show business."
Yeah,
She didn't like Hollywood.
She was the it girl.
Hold on 1 second. What's that, Paulie? No, that's the French actress who checked out because she didn't want to age on film.
Oh,
Catherine
Bardot?
Deneuve.
Well, I think Bardot did the same thing.
Oh, Bardot? Bridget Bardot.
Yeah, Bridget
she did the
Bardot
same thing.
was aging, and she was like, "Fuck this."
I'm not doing this. It is funny how you can see somebody who's
Yeah.
famous in a big movie at age 19, 21, and then you see them at 65 and you're like, whoa.
I know. Yeah, well, look at Madonna. I mean,
What the fuck did she do? Is her face going to settle? She had already gotten a facelift. Like,
this wasn't any lift.
This was inflated, right?
Big round cheeks. And
She did that on purpose.
Oh, I don't know what the fuck. That's frightening. Though. I'm not even joking around.
But
That's
she's got so
scary
much
to see.
money because Bernadette just worked with Jay Leno. Now he's had his 2 things in like a month, in 2 months. He caught on fire.
Yeah.
And he
Didn't
he was
crash
just in
one
an
of these
accident.
cars?
Yeah, his motorcycle, he hit a wire. He could have been
Oh, that's right.
decapitated.
Tripwire.
So he
DiCaprio.
had both of his kneecaps replaced. Dude,
Jesus
2
Christ.
weeks later, he's on stage. He's backstage with
Wow.
Bernie.
He's
He's showing her pictures of what they did. He goes, "Look at this." He goes, "Look at my face." He goes, "I got a new face." As soon as I got into the accent, he goes, "Fuck, I just got a new face."
Wow.
He was very funny about it.
What's my beef?
And she's texting him. And I said, thank him for the tickets that he got me and my 5 comedian friends. I think Tom Cotter and a few others, to go see him in New Bedford in like 1989. And he said, but he goes, tell him to take his time in thanking me. And she sends it to me. I howl. And he goes, did you tell him? Did you tell him? He wanted to make sure he got a laugh.
Oh my God. It's pretty unbelievable. It's just unbelievable that he's there anyway. I mean,
He's 70. How old is he? 72, 74, something like that.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
He's like, and he's with Jimmy Brogan, who was his long time.
Well, he can't get off his cock.
And steel rods in both knees.
Yeah, steel rods in both knees, just crazy. Wow. And he goes, yeah, I was sitting at home for a couple of weeks. I got to work. And
you don't have to
Jimmy
work,
and Bernie are like shaking their heads. Come on.
You don't
he goes,
have
you know
to
the
work.
hardest thing? He's got the sling on. He takes it off to go perform. And they put a chair out there for him. He goes, no, I don't want a chair out there. I'm going to stand. He's cuckoo. Right. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I mean, I respect part of it. And the other part, I'm like, he's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's something wrong with the guy.
He can't turn it off. He sleeps 3 or 4 hours a night. He's one of those people. He's Lenny Clark is like that. Can't turn it off.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it worked for him. So, I mean, I'm not going to knock it, but it's a little nutty. I mean, you got to admit, being in your mid-70s, multimillionaire, banged up, showing up at Comedy.
He said the hardest part was carrying his bag. First of all, he's got a private jet.
Right.
He said, carrying my bag on the plane. First of all, fuckwad, don't make a sound you're flying commercial, because you're not.
Right.
Got a private jet. We've all seen it. And you're $500 million. You can have somebody carry your bag.
Come on, I eat a sandwich.
He can't show weakness. That's his whole thing.
Right.
Lenny Clark is the same way. He has a heart attack. They bring him back to life with a defibrillator, and then 3 days later, he's on stage somewhere talking about it.
Right. I like when he does a video where Lenny does like 50 miles on a bike, and he's got a big cigar in the video. Say, I want you to donate
like
money
3 defibrillators. Defibrillator? Is it defib? Defib, right? Defib or defrib?
That sounds like a lie. I don't know which one it is. Hey, you know,
they should have those everywhere, by the way.
They should.
And the late Senator Kane was trying to get that put everywhere in public, because if you have a stroke, you can
it should
survive.
Be. I mean, that would make sense, right?
They have first aid kits. But the thing is, it's supposed to be like 5 different things to tell you exactly what to do. Open the shirt, put it on the side, put it on the top, hit the button. I don't know. But who's going to have the fucking sense to do that unless you train? You got to train.
My lovely girlfriend Kelly was at a dinner party some years ago, and a woman started to choke at the table in her dinner, choking. She got up, the woman, and ran to the restroom, and Kelly was watching what happened, and she followed her in there. The woman's in the stall at this point. Kelly's like checking stall. Everyone okay? Blah, blah. She hears this woman, dying. She opens the stall,
takes her jewelry, takes her necklace,
Heimlichs her a couple times. The old beef flies out, saves her life. The woman starts vomiting. Kelly's cleaning up this woman's vomit. The husband's at the door. Are you okay, babe? Everything? She's like, she's good. We got it. We're gonna. Now, I mean, that's heroic. I love it. But
Kelly's heroes. Kelly is a hero.
Yes, she's a hero. But after the beef flies out, I'm out.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm not. You don't have to clean the woman's vomit. That's not part of the training.
Listen, Kelly. Next time this happens, once you dislodge, your job is over. You are the hero. He goes, I just saved her. She's puking her brains out. Someone better get in there with a mop.
It's like sex. I tell her the same thing. When I dislodge, this is over. So clean up.
How often do you get something caught in your throat during sex?
Hey now, we get pretty wild out there. I'll tell you, Alfred.
Is it a gag ball or a ball gag?
That got weird. All right. So speaking of Kelly, well, I've been away for 3 weeks. So we're going to a little Super Bowl party on Sunday. So I said, hey, I need some cigars. Could you go get me some cigars while I'm away? So we have this place we like down at the beach, down in Clearwater Beach. Mm-hmm. And we've been there a lot. So she goes in there, and it's one of those places. It's a big place, but they always remember who you are. It's weird. And we hadn't been there in a while. So anyway.
Hey, that's the dame that saves people from choking.
Yeah, suddenly we're in Staten Island. But all right, Clearwater Beach. Yes.
A lot of snowbirds.
Right, there are. That's true. That's a good point. So she walks in, and they go. The guy who runs, it's a bar and a humidor and the whole thing. So the guy goes, "Hey, I'm sorry." To her, she goes, "Hey, I'm sorry. Your guy was here. I didn't have any sticks for him because they didn't have them." And she was like, "Oh, okay." Like he knew she and I are a couple. Like, how the fuck did you know that? We haven't been there together in
That's
3
good
months
business.
or something.
Well,
They're
maybe
amazing.
Maybe he's got the
Well,
hots for Kelly. You ever think of that? Why is it all
I
about
thought he
you?
had the hots for me. I thought I had
Well,
hots for me.
that's a possibility.
I want that.
We
He's cute. So anyway, he goes. She walks in. He goes, "Oh, you need 10 for your guy," and then she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." He goes, "I'm sorry I didn't have him last time." She's like, "Oh, that's okay." So then the bartender goes, or they're talking, but Kelly goes basically, "Oh, where is he? Oh, he's been away for 3 weeks. What does he do?" And I'm like, "Don't tell me.
don't tell him.
You didn't tell
Don't
him.
blow
You
his
didn't tell
cover.
him. You didn't tell him."
She did. She did.
Yeah, she doesn't know.
It's got to be different when you come in, when you walk in.
I know. It's over. I said I can't go back.
And when you're going to get
She's
this
like,
too,
"Why
you're going to
not?"
get the.
I go,
Here's
"I
what you're
can't
going to
go
get. You're going to get one of 3 things. One of them's going to be,
back.
there he is. Hey, how are you? How are you? Did you hear that? How are you?
Oh.
I got one for you. You
Oh.
can use this. It's over.
Oh,
It's fucking
I don't wanna
over,
use
man.
anything. I know it's done, and it was so great. I was just a guy who bought cigars and had a glass of wine, and I loved it. I loved it. Now I'm going to be hearing jokes. They're going to want to joke.
Yeah.
Were you working, or are you hardly working, or working? I'm like,
I never thought you were a comedian. You didn't seem very funny to me. Oh, you're going to hear it all.
I know. It's so
You know what it
anyway.
is? You did not give her a title to use because she's
No.
not a liar.
I know.
She
She's
can't
new
make
at
it
this,
up.
too. She
She's
doesn't
too
know
honest
from
and
that.
it's new. So if you said, listen,
Right.
here's what I tell people. This is
I'm a
what I
roof
do.
bum. I'm a
Something
roof
that
bum.
they can't ask you about.
Right. Yeah.
Something they say, oh, my buddy does that. Or can they give me an estimate? No, you gotta make something that's made
I'm
up.
a geneticist. Genetic. I do genetics. What would that be? A geneticist?
I said that I sell
geneticist.
shipping container space. So I buy the whole shipping container and then I sell pieces of it and make a profit. A broker, shipping container broker.
Away. Go, yo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Well, that's smart. And then at the end of it, the bartender goes, "Hey, is he Al Romas?" Now it's like, what? So she goes, "Yeah." And the woman goes, "Oh yeah, TikTok. I know him from TikTok." I'm like, what? I've been on TikTok for like 2 months. She watches TikTok.
She must have seen you locally.
No, she said TikTok.
But you have you have the 2 dicks or the 2 L's.
I have the 2 dicks and my own page with like over 1,000 followers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but it's possible, but it's just weird. But anyway, I can't go in anymore. It's called Fusion. If you're listening, Fusion, you probably are. Because now you know, but I can't go back. Sorry. I liked it. I loved it. But I can't go back in there. I can't have that. So that's that, man.
Kelly, you were a hero one moment and then you ruined his social life the very next. Because that's all we want. Most people, especially, I'm going to speak for men because I don't know how it works with women. You like your local. It could be a bar. It could be a cigar lounge, a little restaurant, just somewhere where you go where everybody knows your name.
They should have a bar, like a TV
But we didn't
show.
want everybody to know our name.
No, because we get it. That's what our life is in a club or a ship or whatever. Everyone, hey, buddy, hey, funny man, hey. So when you go home, it's like, I don't want to know that. But I think people they don't realize that. The average person is going to think, well, that's kind of fun. That's cool. You should, like Kelly was like, when I told her, I go, oh, no. And she's like, why? That's good. People like that. Like,
I mentioned this before, too. As a comedian, especially when the first 10 years when we're doing it, it was a novelty. It was like, you're a comedian? Oh, my God. Now it's like, oh, yeah, my cousin does that.
Yes.
You ever hear of so-and-so?
Yeah.
Oh, my brother-in-law, Fluffy. He's my brother-in-law.
Fluffy.
Something.
He's pretty big, actually. Does
Yeah,
well.
in more ways than one.
Yeah. I've never seen Fluffy the comedian. I just know he sells out everywhere, and I can imagine it's something I would not enjoy, but I've never seen a minute of him, which is weird. You know what I mean?
Same
I've never,
here.
but, and
I've seen some clips online,
kills,
and he lives, I think, Santa Monica. He's got, he's very wealthy. He's got a nice pad there, and he's got a warehouse where he collects Volkswagen buses. And
Really?
he has they're gorgeous. They're all like tricked out, like $100,000 vehicles.
Kind of pedophile-y. You know what I mean? VW buses reek of.
He's got diabetes. He knows he's not long for the world. He says, "I don't know how much time I got." So he goes, I "This is my collection. This is my thing."
Yeah.
Somebody will get it.
Well, they'll get it all right in the back of a VW bus. A lot of people have gotten it. You know what I mean? Remember back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Ain't no bigger than a squirrel.
What's that?
That was from Sling Blade. I don't know why I did the Sling Blade thing, but what was it? The guy in the sling. Speaking of people in slings, the guy Ted Bundy, didn't he do that? Oh, could you help me move my couch?
We had a bug, VW bug.
Oh, who was the guy? Is that from the books, the Red Dragon, which later became Hannibal Lecter? Excuse me, could you help me with my couch in the back of my van? He asked some girl. Just I can only do one arm, and they come over. Sure, I'll help you. And then he'd clock him over the head and toss him in the van and drive off.
Never to be seen again.
Make a lampshade out of him or keep them in prison.
I don't know this book you're speaking of, but I'll be sure.
I think it was called Red Dragon, and they made it into 2 movies.
Oh, that's the original. So is that the original Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah.
Because okay. Wasn't one, that's a series of books. Like one of the books was Silence of the Lambs. It's like one part of it. Am I right on that? Or
yes.
I
Yes.
I am right. All right. Good for me.
It was a 2 or 3 parter. And I read 2 of them. But I will say that the Hannibal Lecter movie, Silence of the Lambs, was the closest to the book. Very good.
I always heard that there was a TV movie, Hannibal, with the guy from CSI, William Peterson. Right. I always heard that was the better Hannibal Lecter series. I don't know who played Hannibal Lecter in that.
It was a British actor.
But that one they say is great. I did not see it, though.
Well, I don't know. I got to give it to the Welshman.
Tony? Got to give it to Tony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, yes.
I call him Tony.
She made me, honey, you made me lunch? She made me lunch. She brought me.
Oh. What did she do? She fucked up? She must have fucked up.
No, I just took her to the San Pedro Cafe, it's my 3rd time there. As in the right up the street, right across the street from their Warner Theater, which is 1931. All those Pantages, Warner Theaters, movie theaters, vaudeville places. Didn't
Tarantino buy that?
Which one?
Pantages.
Did he buy it? Or did he?
I think.
Well, I know they renovated it. They preserved it. He was on the committee.
He has something to do with it.
To renovate
something
it.
to do with it.
I think so. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. And you got off the ship this morning. Is this what I'm remembering?
Bernadette came down, picked me up. She drove an hour from Studio City to pick me up. I actually left the terminal. I walked off with my luggage, and I said, I'm in front of the pet store on the main drag, and she picked me up on the corner, and then we went over to the San Pedro Cafe, and the food is so good there. Service is amazing. Love that place. And then I said, hey, let's do a little walk around the downtown. I like San Pedro. It's one of those areas where it was like very gang infested a couple of decades ago. It's kind of mellowed out. And now they're putting in the glass high-rise luxury condos. You can still get in, but you could have gotten in for a pittance a decade ago.
A pittance.
Paul Boland lives up. I think he lives up on the hill there a little bit.
Oh yeah,
his family. But so we're walking by the the Warner Theater, and it's open, and we're kind of like poking around, looking on the outside. Some guy goes, "Hey, how are you?" I go, "Well." He goes, "You can come in if you want to look around." I go, "When's the next event?" He goes, "March something." He goes, "But come in. They're getting ready to renovate it, and we'll show you." So all of a sudden, he starts giving us a mini tour, and they show areas where they're taking off the paint, and underneath is the original paint from the 1930s. It's amazing. So it's going to be a 2-year project. Check it out.
All right. Thank you. We will. We'll check it out. If you're ever there, folks, San Pedro, check it out. Original paint, 1940s.
You
Get
go
there.
home.
Do it.
I'm performing tonight, by the way, in Moore Park at a country club. You're going to go home. Where's your next performance? Because we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, this is going to air Monday. I'm in Spring Hill Saturday night at a something playhouse in Spring Hill. I've heard it's pretty good. Helen Keeney did it, and she said it's really a great gig. So we'll do that. It's about an hour from home. So 7:00 show, done at 8:30. Get paid. Home by hopefully, I don't know, 10:30.
Wouldn't be bad. Sweet. Being
Wouldn't
home
be
before
bad.
midnight local is very nice. And then
Yes,
we
sir.
head off to Aruba Rays for 2 weeks. Like I said, I'll be officiating Bernadette's niece Shannon and Dave's wedding.
Yeah.
And we're going to do Super Bowl. Oh, there it is. We're going to do the Super
Nice.
Bowl Sunday in Aruba. So I guess that's it for the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast.
All right, brother. Have fun.
Arrivederci.
Good luck in prison.
Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forwardthe2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.